Most people are taught to pour as much as possible into their 401k or IRA, and for years, that strategy worked. But here's what no one tells you. There's such a thing as too much in tax-deferred accounts. And if you don't have a plan to unwind it, you could face higher taxes in retirement than when you were working, bigger RMDs than you ever expected, and fewer options when it really matters because your 401k or IRA doesn't just grow, it grows a tax bomb. And if you're not careful, that bomb goes off right when you're ready to retire. Hi, I'm Mark Wisniewski, president of Southern Incomes, and I help pre-retirees and retirees turn their life savings into reliable, tax-smart retirement income. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a risk that many high savers overlook. What happens when your 401k or IRA becomes too large? I'll walk you through what that means, why it's a real problem, and how to create a strategy that keeps more of your money working for you, not the IRS. If you find this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's dive in. Part 1, why overfunded accounts become a problem. At first glance, having a large 401k or IRA sounds like a great problem to have, right? But here's the issue. Every dollar in that account is fully taxable when you withdraw it. And that tax burden doesn't go away in retirement. In fact, it often gets worse. Let me explain. When you're working, you have control over your income, but once you hit your 70s, the IRS forces you to start withdrawing from those accounts, whether you need it or not. This is called required minimum distributions, or RMDs, and they're based on the size of those accounts and your age. So let's just say you've got $1.5 million or $2 million or even more in your 401k or IRA. That means your RMDs could easily be $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 or more a year. And here's where it gets messy. That income stacks on top of your Social Security, and it could push you into a higher tax bracket. It can also trigger higher Medicare premiums, known as IRMAA. And of course, it limits your flexibility for Roth conversions and other planning strategies. In other words, the account that you thought was going to give you freedom can actually tie your hands later in retirement. Part 2, the 3 hidden tax traps of oversized 401ks or IRAs. Let's break down the real risks that come with overfunding these accounts. Number 1, the RMD shock in your 70s. So once you hit age 73 or 75, depending on your birth year, the IRS requires you to start taking money out, and they don't care if you don't need it. So even if you're living comfortably off of other assets, you're forced to pull taxable income from your IRA every single year. Many retirees are shocked to learn that their RMDs push them into higher tax brackets than while they were working. Number 2, the IRMAA surcharge. If your income crosses a certain threshold in retirement, Medicare is going to penalize you by increasing your monthly premiums. It's called IRMAA, and it's triggered by what's called your modified adjusted gross income. So if your RMDs bump your income up by $1 too much, you could end up paying hundreds, even thousands more for the exact same Medicare coverage. 3, the widow's tax penalty. This one's often overlooked. If you're married and your spouse passes away first, you move from married filing jointly to single filer. But your income might stay the same, especially if those RMDs keep rolling in. And that means your taxes keep going up at the exact moment your household income shrinks and you need every dollar to count. Part 3, why traditional advice falls short. Now, if you ask most people, or for that matter, even some advisors, the common answer is just keep maxing out your 401k. It lowers your taxes today. And that's technically true, but what they don't tell you is this: you're not avoiding taxes, you're just delaying them. And if your future tax rate ends up being higher than today's, you didn't save anything, right? All you did was make the IRS wait for you. This is where traditional advice falls short. It focuses on accumulation, not distribution. And distribution is where most retirees lose control of their tax picture. Here's the reality. A good retirement plan doesn't just look at how much you've saved. It looks at where your money is and how you can access it without getting crushed by taxes later on. That's the missing piece. Part 4, smarter moves to reduce the risk. So what can you do if you're sitting on a large 401k or IRA? Here are 3 strategies many retirees don't consider, but they should. 1, start Roth conversions diligence early. If you're in your 50s or even your early 60s and not yet drawing for Social Security, you're likely in one of the lowest tax brackets you're ever going to see again. That window is a prime opportunity to strategically convert some of your pre-tax IRA money into a Roth. It's taxable now, of course, but you'll never pay tax on that money again. Plus, Roth IRAs aren't subject to those RMDs. That's long-term flexibility. 2, use a guardrail withdrawal plan. Instead of pulling from just one account exclusively, coordinate withdrawals between pre-tax, taxable, and Roth accounts to manage your tax bracket each year. This multi-source strategy helps you stay in control and avoids those surprise spikes in income that can trigger the IRMAA or higher tax brackets. 3, give yourself more buckets. If you're still working, consider putting new savings in a Roth 401k or an after-tax brokerage account instead of just maxing out your pre-tax side. Yes, you lose some upfront deductions, but you're going to gain future tax flexibility, which can matter a lot more in retirement. The goal here isn't to avoid taxes altogether. That's not possible, but it'd be great. But the goal is to smooth out your tax bill so it doesn't catch you off guard in your 70s, 80s, or 90s. Here's the bottom line. Overfunding your 401k or IRA isn't always a blessing. In fact, without the right plan, it can turn into a tax time bomb in retirement. The good news, these risks are all avoidable if you start planning early and think beyond that old advice of just keep saving. If you're 5 to 10 years out from retirement, this is the moment to start making the smart moves that can save you serious tax pain later on. And if you're already retired with the big IRA, it's not too late. You need to just develop a strategy to draw it down efficiently before the IRS is going to start forcing your hand. If you want help building a retirement income plan that actually works, including how to manage a big pre-tax account, book a call with me using the link in the description. I'm Mark Wisniewski, and I help people like you turn their savings into income with less tax and more confidence. We'll talk soon.